The crystal chandeliers in the private banquet hall glittered. I straightened my tie, feeling pretty good. Today was my engagement party with Victoria Clark. It wasn't a huge affair, but it was a milestone moment in my life. Jack, can you come here for a second? Victoria's assistant, Chloe Davis, waved me over, her expression a little tight. I walked over. What's up? So, Vicky's uncle and his family just showed up unexpectedly, she said. You know her uncle, the one who's in real estate. They're very well off. I nodded. And now, the head table is full. I was wondering if you could maybe sit at the table next to it? We're all family here, after all. I froze for a second. You mean you want me, the groom, to sit at a side table? It's not really a side table, Chloe said breezily. It's just a different table. Don't overthink it. Her tone was casual, but a knot started to form in my stomach. Chloe, it's my engagement party. Shouldn't I be at the head table? Oh, come on. Why are you making such a big deal out of seat? Vicky's uncle runs his own company. He's worth tens of millions. You can't expect an elder like that to sit at a side table, can you? I took a deep breath. What about Victoria? What does she say? Vicky's in makeup right now. She doesn't have time for these little details. Just listen to me. Little details? I looked at Chloe's entitled expression and felt a wave of indignation I couldn't quite name. I don't think this is a little detail. Jack, can you please not be so stubborn? Everyone's waiting for dinner to start. You're not going to throw a fit over a chair, are you? I glanced around. Guests were taking their seats. The head table was occupied by Victoria's parents and a few distinguished-looking middle-aged people. The table I'd been assigned to was filled with faces I didn't recognize. I'm going to talk to Victoria. If you interrupt her makeup session now, what if you ruin it? Jack, can you just be mature about this? Mature? The word stung. Does being mature mean I have to let myself be humiliated? Why are you twisting my words? It's just moving to another table. It's not like we're not letting you eat. Chloe's face was a mask of impatience. Fine. I'll just tell Vicky you're not cooperating. As she turned to leave, I stopped her. Wait. What? Did you change your mind? I saw the contempt in her eyes and suddenly, it all clicked. This wasn't a last-minute decision. This was planned. I just want to ask you something, I said. If my uncle showed up today, and he was also worth millions, would you ask Victoria to sit at a side table? Chloe's expression flickered. What's that supposed to mean? You know exactly what it means. I turned and walked toward the head table. If she wouldn't get Victoria, I'd handle myself. Jack, what are you doing? Chloe scrambled to keep up. I stopped beside Victoria's mother. Ma'am, I wanted to ask if it was your idea for me to sit over there. Victoria's mom looked up at me, a flash of embarrassment on her face. Jack, don't read too much into it. There just wasn't enough room. Please try to understand. Understand what? That I'm being kicked to a side table in my own engagement party? The chatter around us quieted down. Everyone was looking our way. Keep your voice down, her mother hissed. People are watching. Right. We can't have people laughing at us, so it's better to just humiliate me. Is that it? Just then, a well-dressed, middle-aged man stood up. You must be Victoria's boyfriend. I'm her uncle. He held out his hand. I ignored it. Hello, I'm Jack Miller, and to be precise, I'm her fiancé. The uncle's hand hung awkwardly in the air, his face darkening. Young man, it's not a good look to make a scene over a seating arrangement. You're right, I said, my voice rising slightly as I looked around the room. It's not a good look at all. Today is my engagement party, but it seems some people don't think I'm worthy of sitting at the head table. So I'd like to ask everyone, is there any point in continuing with this party? The room fell silent. Everyone stared, stunned. Victoria's mother shot to her feet. Jack, don't be impulsive. Let's talk about this calmly. I am calm, ma'am, I said, looking at her. I just want to know what I am to you in your eyes. What kind of thing is that to say? We've always treated you like our own son. Your own son? I laughed. Would you make your own son sit at a side table during his own engagement party? Just then, Victoria burst out of the dressing room, still in her engagement dress. What's going on? What are you all arguing about? Seeing the scene, her face changed. Jack, what are you doing now? Now, the word choice was perfect. Victoria, you're just in time. I want to ask you, was it your idea for me to sit at the side table today? What side table? Chloe, what's going on? Chloe rushed forward to explain. Vicky, your uncle's family came, and the head table was full. I asked Jack to switch seats, and he just started making a scene. Victoria listened, then looked at me, then at her uncle. Jack, it's just a seat. Do you really have to be like this? Like this? I looked at the woman I thought would understand me, and my heart turned to ice. So my feelings don't matter to you at all? Can you not be so sensitive? My uncle rarely visits. What's the big deal with you making a little room? Making room. I repeated the words. If my family had come today, would you have made room? Victoria paused, not answering. Her silence was the only answer I needed. Vicky, don't listen to him. He's just trying to cause trouble, Chloe added, fanning the flames. Cause trouble? I turned on her. You're an assistant. What gives you the right to order me around? Jack, that's enough. Victoria suddenly shouted. Chloe is helping me. Why do you have to talk to her like that? I watched her defend Chloe, and my heart shattered completely. Fine. What right do I have? I started to loosen my tie. What are you doing? Victoria asked. If I'm not worthy of sitting at the head table, then I'm not worthy of attending this engagement party. I placed the tie on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but today's engagement party is over. Jack, are you insane? Victoria grabbed my arm. I'm not insane. I'm just seeing things clearly, I said, gently pulling my arm away. A woman who won't even defend her own fiancé's dignity isn't worth spending my life with. What did you say? I said, we're breaking up. The words dropped like a bomb. The entire room erupted in whispers. Victoria's face went white. Say that again. Victoria Clark, we are breaking up, I said, enunciating every word. From this moment on, we have nothing to do with each other. Victoria stood there, frozen, as if she couldn't believe what she was hearing. Jack, calm down. You're going to break up with me over a seat. It's not about the seat. It's about dignity, I said, looking at her. If a woman can't give her own man basic respect, what's the point of the relationship? You're forcing me to choose. Victoria's voice trembled. No, I'm not forcing you. I'm just making my own choice. I turned and walked toward the door. Behind me, I could hear Victoria's sobs and the murmuring of the guests. Jack, stop right there. Her mother yelled after me. I paused, but didn't turn around. Ma'am, I will cover all the expenses for today's event. The room, the food, I'll pay for everything. You child, I'm not talking about the money. Then what are you talking about? I turned back to face her. Her mother opened her mouth, but in the end, said nothing. Because she knew, and she didn't know what to say. As I walked out of the banquet hall, I heard Victoria's hysterical crying behind me, but I didn't look back. Some wounds, once inflicted, can never be undone, and some dignity, once lost, can never be reclaimed. I stood at the hotel entrance, the cool night wind on my face. I pulled out my phone and saw a dozen missed calls from my mom. I called her back. Jack, what happened? Victoria's mother just called me. Said you two had a fight? Mom, we broke up. The line was silent for a few seconds. What? Broke up? What do you mean you broke up? I quickly explained what had happened. When I finished, my mom let out a long sigh. Son, you did the right thing. I hadn't expected her to say that. Mom, a woman who doesn't respect her man isn't worth having. I support you. After hanging up, I felt a little better. At least my family understood. Jack, a voice called out. I turned to see my buddy, Leo Fisher, running up. What the hell happened? I just heard inside that you and Vicky broke up. Yeah. For real? Everything was fine a minute ago. How did it happen so fast? Leo was my college roommate and one of the few people here today who was on my side. Do you think I was wrong? I asked him. Wrong? No. If you ask me, you should have dumped her a long time ago. Leo lit a cigarette. You know what I heard today? What? Her mom and her uncle were talking. They were saying they needed to find a safe bet to settle down with, someone easy to manage. They said your family background was average, but you were a decent guy, good for a quiet life. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. So that's what I was in their eyes. A safe bet. A project. So today wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. They planned it. Of course they did. Think about it. Why would the uncle's family just suddenly decide to show up at the engagement party? It was a test. Leo took a long drag from a cigarette. They wanted to see what your breaking point was. How much you'd take. Well, I guess they know now. Know what? They'll probably just think you don't know what's good for you. Just then, Chloe walked out of the hotel. When she saw us, her face soured. Jack, Vicky wants me to talk to you. I have nothing to say to her. Don't be so stubborn. Vicky's a complete mess. She's been crying her eyes out. Can't you just go back in and apologize? Apologize? Did I hear her right? You think I should be the one to apologize? Of course. You made a scene in front of all those people. It was so embarrassing for Vicky. Leo couldn't hold back anymore. What the hell is wrong with this world? The guy who gets humiliated is the one who has to apologize. Who are you? Does this have anything to do with you? Chloe shot Leo a glare. I'm Jack's friend, so yeah, it has everything to do with me. Leo stood up. I just want to know, who exactly should be apologizing here? Jack, obviously. He was being irrational and ruined the whole party. Irrational? I stare at Chloe. And forcing the groom to sit at a side table isn't irrational. So what? You're not some big shot. A seat is a seat. What does it matter where you sit? Chloe's words finally set me off. You're right. I'm not a big shot. So I'm clearly not good enough for Victoria Clark. Don't be like that. Vicky really loves you. Loves me. I laughed. If she loved me, would she let me be humiliated in front of everyone? If she loved me, Would she let her assistant order me around? Chloe was speechless. Jack, think about it. Vicky's family is so well off. If you lose her, it won't be easy to find another girl that good. A girl that good? Leo sneered. Good at what? Looking down on people. You men are all about your pride. You'd throw away a girlfriend for a little bit of face. Pride. I looked at her. Do you know what pride is? It's dignity. It's your bottom line. A man without a shred of self-respect might as well not be alive. Chloe stared, seemingly shocked that I'd take it so seriously. Forget it, I said, waving my hand dismissively. Go back and tell Victoria that Jack Miller isn't good enough for her. Tell her to find someone better. Jack. I ignored her and started walking away with Leo. Chloe's voice trailed behind us. You're going to regret this. Regret it? Maybe. But at least I wouldn't regret the decision I made today. On the drive back to my place, neither of us said a word. As we were pulling up to my apartment building, Leo finally spoke. Dude, you sure about this? Sure about what? Breaking up just like that? No regrets. I looked out at the city lights. After a moment, I said, Leo, if a woman really loves a guy, do you think she'd let him be publicly humiliated like that? No. Exactly. The car stopped. As I was about to get out, Leo added, but I mean, besides this, Vicky was pretty good to you, right? Good. I gave a bitter laugh. You know what her reaction was to the birthday present I gave her last year? What happened? I got her a necklace. It wasn't super expensive, but I'd saved for 2 months to buy it. She opened it in front of her friends and said, I don't recognize this brand. And then one of her friends said if they'd never heard of it, it probably wasn't a major brand. Victoria immediately put the necklace away and said she'd wear it later. And she never wore it after that. Nope. I nodded. But she wore a Cartier bracelet one of her college friends gave her every single day. Posted it all over Instagram, too. Leo was quiet for a long time after hearing that. Dude, you're better off without a woman like that. It took me until today to really see it. After I got out of the car, I saw the lights on in my apartment. I knew my parents were waiting up for me. I walked up the stairs, my feet feeling heavy. I opened the door to find my parents sitting on the sofa. My mom immediately stood up. Son, you're back. Yeah. Are you hungry? I can make you some soup. I shook my head and sat down on the couch. My dad glanced at me, but said nothing, turning his attention back to the news. Jack, Victoria's mother called a few more times. She wanted me to talk some sense into you, my mom said, sitting beside me. What did you say, Mom? I told her to get her own daughter under control first and to stop bullying my son. I looked at my mom, a warmth spreading through my chest. You really said that? Of course. My son isn't marrying into their family to be their servant. Why should he have to put up with that kind of treatment? Just then, my dad put down the remote and turned to me. Jack, as long as you've thought it through, that's all that matters. Whatever you decide, your mom and I will support you. Thanks, Dad. Just one thing. Since you've broken up, make it a clean break. No lina getting. I nodded. I know. My phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered it, and a woman's voice came on the line. Is this Jack? This is Victoria's aunt. I was a bit taken aback. Hello. I'm calling about what happened today. I think there might have been a misunderstanding. I was hoping we could talk and see if we can resolve this. Ma'am, there's nothing to talk about. I'm the one who's not good enough for Victoria. Don't say that, sweetie. Who said you weren't good enough? You didn't say it, but your actions did. There was a pause on the other end. Jack, I know you felt slighted today, but think about it. My husband is an elder, and he's helped Victoria's family out a lot over the years. So I'm the one who should give up his seat? It's not giving up your seat. It's just a chair. You shouldn't read so much into it. There was that phrase again. I took a deep breath. Ma'am, let me ask you a question. If it was your son's wedding day and someone asked him to sit at a side table, would you be okay with that? Well, that's different. How is it different? That's, she was at a loss for words. Ma'am, thank you for your concern, but Victoria and I are truly not right for each other. Jack, don't be rash. Victoria loves you very much. She's crying her eyes out right now. If she really loved me, today would never have happened. Then what do you want? I don't want anything. I just want to live my life in peace. With that, I hung up. My mom, who had heard most of the conversation, patted my shoulder. You did the right thing, son. For the next few days, my phone didn't stop buzzing. Calls from Victoria, from her mom, even from some of her friends trying to mediate. I didn't answer a single one. I knew that if I did, it would just be an endless cycle of drama. On the third day, Leo called me. Dude, Victoria found me. What did she want? She wants me to convince you to go back to her. Says she's thought it over and she'll be more considerate of your feelings from now on. I scoffed. She's thought it over now? Where was she before? That's what I said. But she was a wreck, just sobbing, saying she really knows she was wrong. Leo, do you really think she knows she was wrong? I don't know, man. I think she's just scared of losing you, not that she actually understands what she did wrong. Exactly. She also said she's willing to apologize to you in front of everyone. I felt nothing. It's too late. And she said she fired Chloe. Fired her? That surprised me. Yeah, said Chloe drove a wedge between you two. So, she let her go. I shook my head. She still doesn't get it. The problem isn't Chloe. Right. Chloe was just a trigger. The real problem is that she never gave a damn about you in the first place. After hanging up, I sat on the sofa for a long time. Firing Chloe, apologizing in public. It was all just for show. If she had truly respected me, today's incident would never have happened. That evening, I was reading when the doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole and saw Victoria. She was standing outside, her eyes red and swollen. She had clearly been crying. I didn't open the door. Jack, I know you're in there. Please open the door. Let's talk. I sat on the sofa, unmoving. Jack, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Please, just give me one more chance. Her muffled sobs came through the door. My heart remained still. Jack, I already fired Chloe. No one will ever interfere in our relationship again. Still missing the point. Jack, open the door. I'm kneeling out here. Don't you have a heart? Kneeling? I went to the peephole and looked again. She was, in fact, on her knees in the hallway. But I still didn't open the door, because I knew this was a tactic, not true remorse. After about half an hour, the noise outside stopped. I checked the peephole again. She was gone. The next morning, my mom came back from grocery shopping. Jack, there was a girl kneeling downstairs for a long time yesterday. That wasn't Victoria, was it? Probably. You didn't answer? No. Mom nodded. Good. You give some women an inch, they'll take a mile. Later that morning, I was at home packing up some things, getting ready to put away all the photos of Victoria and the gift she'd given me. Leo called again. Dude, bad news. What now? Victoria's dad came to see me. He wants to meet with you. I had met Victoria's father a few times. He was a serious man, usually quiet. What does he want to see me for? He didn't say specifically, but it sounded pretty formal. He asked me to set up a meeting. I thought for a moment. Fine, I'll meet him. Really? I thought you said you wanted a clean break. It's better to meet. We can make things crystal clear, and maybe they'll stop sending people to talk to me. That afternoon, I met Victoria's father at a coffee shop. He looked older than the last time I'd seen him, his face etched with exhaustion. Mr. Clark, I said, greeting him first. Jack, sit. We sat across from each other, the air thick with awkwardness. Mr. Clark, what did you want to see me about? He looked at me and spoke slowly. Jack, Victoria has been crying for days. She can't eat, can't sleep. It's breaking my heart to see her like this. I didn't respond. I know what happened that day was our family's fault. On behalf of my entire family, I want to apologize to you. As he said this, he stood up and bowed to me. I shot out of my seat. Mr. Clark, please don't do that. You're my elder. No, I must apologize, he said, straightening up. What happened that day was thoughtless. We hurt you. I sat back down, looking at the man in his 50s. To be honest, Mr. Clark was a decent person. He had always been kind to me. Sir, please sit down and talk. He sat, sighing. Jack, I want to be honest with you. Please. Asking you to change seats that day. It really was my older brother's idea. He said that since he was sponsoring the party, he should be at the head table. I nodded. I figured. But I never imagined Victoria and her mother would actually agree to it. If I had been there, I would never have let it happen. You weren't there at the time? I was stuck at the office with an emergency. By the time I arrived, you had already left. So that was it. Sir, this wasn't your fault. No, it is my fault. I didn't raise Victoria right. I didn't teach her how to respect the man she's with. His words surprised me. Jack, I want to ask you a question. If Victoria truly changes her ways, would you be willing to give her another chance? I was silent for a moment. Sir, do you really think she'll change? That, I can't guarantee, he answered honestly, but I can guarantee that nothing like this will ever happen again. Mr. Clark, the problem isn't whether it will happen again. It's about how she truly sees me in her heart. What do you mean? A woman who genuinely loves me wouldn't let me be humiliated in front of a crowd, and she certainly wouldn't let an assistant tell me what to do. Mr. Clark listened, then nodded. You're right. So, even if she promises to change now, I don't believe she can change her fundamental view of me. What if she were willing to apologize to you in front of everyone? Sir, an apology can't fix the root problem. I looked at him. If a woman respects a man from the bottom of her heart, she doesn't need to apologize because she would never do anything to hurt him in the first place. Mr. Clark was silent for a long time. Jack, I think I understand what you're saying. Sir, if I were you, I might make the same choice. His response caught me off guard. However, he continued, I still hope you'll reconsider. You two were together for 2 years. That's not easy to throw away. Sir, some things, once broken, can never be fixed. Mr. Clark nodded. I understand. We talked a little longer. He mostly apologized, and I told him I didn't hold a grudge against anyone. As we were leaving, he shook my hand. Jack, no matter what, I still think you're a good young man. Thank you, sir. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call me. I knew he meant it, but I also knew that it was truly over between me and Victoria. When I got home that night, my mom asked how the meeting went. Victoria's dad is a pretty reasonable guy, I said. So what are you thinking? Nothing to think about. We broke up, and that's final. That's the right way to be, my mom said, patting my shoulder. Son, remember, when you're looking for a wife, character is the most important thing. Everything else is secondary. I know, Mom. That night, I lay in bed thinking for a long time. I thought about the 2 years I spent with Victoria, the good times and the bad. But mostly, I remembered a persistent, nagging feeling of inadequacy. The feeling that I was always trying to please someone, but never getting the same respect in return. Thinking about it now, breaking up was probably for the best. At least now I could start over and find someone who truly knew how to respect me. A week later, I was back to my normal routine at work. It was a lie to say I didn't miss Victoria. 2 years is a long time, but I knew there was no going back down that road. That morning, I was at my desk when a coworker, Lou, came over. Jack, there's a girl here to see you. She's waiting downstairs. I frowned. What girl? She's really pretty. Says she's a friend of yours. My stomach dropped. It had to be Victoria. I went downstairs, and sure enough, it was her. She was wearing a white dress and looked much thinner than before. Her face pale. Jack. Her eyes reddened the moment she saw me. What are you doing here? I wanted to see you. You won't answer my calls, so I had to come here. I glanced around. A number of my colleagues were watching us curiously. If you have something to say it here. Can we go somewhere else? There are too many people. Let's just talk here. I have nothing to hide. Victoria bit her lip. Jack, I know I was wrong. Can you please forgive me? It's over. There's nothing to forgive. No, I really know I was wrong. I was too vain that day. I didn't think about your feelings. I looked at her, but my heart felt nothing. Victoria, do you even know what you did wrong? I was wrong to make you sit at the side table and wrong to listen to Chloe. I shook my head. You still don't get it. Then what was I wrong about? Tell me. I'll change, I promise. You were wrong because deep down, you have never respected me. No, I do respect you. If you respected me, that day would never have happened. If you respected me, you wouldn't have announced in front of your friends that you didn't recognize the necklace I gave you. If you respected me, you wouldn't constantly make me feel like an idiot in front of your friends. Victoria was stunned. When did I ever make you feel like an idiot? Every time we hung out with your friends, I couldn't get a word in about the topics you were discussing, and you never once tried to include me. You think that's respect? I wasn't thinking about that. Exactly. You weren't thinking because in your mind, I was never that important to begin with. Tears streamed down Victoria's face. That's not true. You're very important to me. Important? Then why have you never once asked for my opinion on any major decision? What decisions? Changing your job, moving apartments, planning the engagement party. Did you ask me about any of it? Victoria was speechless. Jack, I'll change. I promise. I'll be different from now on. Victoria, some things can't be changed just by saying so. They're part of who you are. Are you saying I'm fundamentally incapable of looking up to you? What do you think? Victoria was silent for a long time. Then she looked up at me. What if I'm willing to give up my family's financial support and build a life with you? Would you give me a chance then? I was surprised. I never expected her to say something like that. You'd really be willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave me. I looked into her sincere eyes, and for a fleeting moment, I wavered. But just as quickly, clarity returned. Victoria, do you think our problem is about money? Isn't it? If we were on the same financial level, none of this would have happened. I shook my head in disappointment. You still don't understand. Then tell me, what is the problem? The problem is you've never truly known me, and you've never even tried. How can you say I don't know you? I know you like to read. You like listening to music you like. That's all surface-level stuff? I interrupted. Do you know why I like to read? Do you know what my dream was when I was a kid? Do you know what my biggest fear is? Victoria opened her mouth, but couldn't say a word. See? You don't even know the most basic things about me, and you say you know me? Well, do you know me? She retorted, a little defensive. I know you took piano lessons as a kid, but quit because your parents were too strict, which is why you crave freedom now. I know you're actually very insecure, so you're always seeking validation from others. I know you act tough, but on the inside, you're very fragile. Listening to me, Victoria's tears flowed even faster. If you know me so well, why won't you give me a chance? Because knowing someone can't be a one-way street. A relationship needs mutual understanding and mutual respect. I'll work harder to understand you from now on. It's too late, Victoria. Sometimes, when you miss your chance, it's gone forever. I turned to leave, but she grabbed my arm. Jack, are you really not going to give me a single chance? I stopped, but didn't turn back. Victoria, if you ever really loved me, you'll let me go. With that, I pulled my hand away and walked back into my office building without a second glance. I could hear her crying behind me, but I didn't turn around. I knew that some relationships, once shattered, could never be repaired. And some people, once they leave, can never come back. When I got back to my desk, I noticed my coworkers looking at me with pity. Lou came over and clapped me on the shoulder. Hey man, when it comes to relationships, you just gotta try to move on. I managed a weak smile. I'm fine. It's all in the past. But inside, I was still hurting. 2 years of my life. You don't just turn that off. That afternoon, Leo sent me a text. Drinks tonight? My treat. We're not going home sober. I sent back an okay emoji. That night, Leo and I were at a small dive bar. So, how is it seeing Victoria today? He asked. Same as always. She still doesn't get what the real problem is. That's women for you. Always have to save face. It's not about face. It's that she never even saw me as her equal. Leo nodded. Honestly, I saw it from the start. The way she acted around you versus her other friends was totally different. What do you mean? You never noticed? She was always super polite and sweet to her rich friends, but with you, she was always casual. Too casual. I thought about it, and he was right. I guess I just thought we were close, so she didn't have to be so formal. Close. Leo scoffed. Being close is an excuse for disrespect? I think she just thought you were a pushover. Whatever. It's over now. Exactly. It's over. Plenty of great women out there. We drank for a bit longer. Then Leo suddenly said, Hey, what if I set you up with someone? Not right now, man. What do you mean, not right now? It's the perfect time for a rebound. This girl is my cousin's classmate. She's really nice, and most importantly, she's a good person. I really don't want to. Just meet her. What's the harm? Maybe you'll hit it off. Leo was relentless. So finally, I agreed just to shut him up. The next afternoon, Leo brought a girl to my office. She looked to be in her mid-20s. She wasn't stunning, but she had a kind, comfortable air about her, with 2 little dimples that appeared when she smiled. Jack, this is Lily Evans. Lily, this is Jack, the guy I told you about. Hi, Lily said, extending her hand. Hi. I shook it. Her hand was warm. Leo told me you've been having a rough time lately, so I thought I'd see if there was anything I could do to help, Lily said with a smile. Her directness caught me off guard. Thanks, but I'm okay. That's good to hear. Well, if you ever do need anything, just let me know. The 3 of us went to a nearby coffee shop. As we talked, I realized Lily was a fascinating person. She was an elementary school teacher who loved to paint and travel in her spare time. She had a great sense of humor and kept making me laugh. Most importantly, she was an incredible listener. When I spoke, she paid close attention, offering thoughtful responses. It was a completely different experience from talking with Victoria. With Victoria, I always felt like she was just humoring me, her mind somewhere else. But with Lily, I felt her sincerity. Jack, Leo mentioned you like to read? Lily asked. Yeah, I do. What kind of books? A little bit of everything. I'm reading some Cormac McCarthy right now. Oh, I've read The Road. It's brilliant, but it leaves you feeling so heavy. I nodded. You like to read too? I do, but I tend to prefer warmer books, like The Little Prince or anything by G. Clune. Why's that? Because life is already hard enough. When I read, I want to feel a little bit of warmth. Her words resonated with me. We talked for over 2 hours. Leo had long since gone quiet, just sitting there smiling occasionally. As we were leaving, Lily said to me, Jack, it was really nice meeting you. I hope we could talk again sometime. Me too. After Lily left, Leo had a smug look on his face. So, she's great, right? Yeah, she really is, I said honestly. So, you think there's a possibility there? It's still early. Let's just be friends for now. Good call. Take it slow. That night, I thought for a long time. Meeting Lily made me realize something. Conversation could be this easy, and spending time with someone could be this comfortable. It was a feeling I had never once experienced with Victoria. Maybe it was really time to let go of the past and start fresh. Over the next month, Lily and I kept in touch. Sometimes she'd send me pictures of her paintings, and I'd recommend books to her. We didn't go on any official dates, but the natural, easy flow of our conversations felt incredibly comforting. Lily was a very independent person with her own job and her own hobbies. She didn't rely on anyone for everything. More importantly, she respected my thoughts and choices. Once, when we were deciding where to eat, she listened carefully to my suggestions, then offered her own, and we decided together. That feeling of equality was something I cherished. One weekend, Lily invited me to an art exhibit. I really love this artist's work, and I wanted to see it with you, she said over the phone. Sure, I don't know much about art, but you can explain it to me. No problem. Explaining art is my favorite thing to do. The gallery was downtown. We agreed to meet at the entrance. When I saw Lily, my breath caught. She was wearing a light blue sundress, her hair tied back simply. She looked so fresh and lovely. You look beautiful today, I complimented her. Thanks. She smiled, a light blush dusting her cheeks. We walked into the gallery, and Lily explained the paintings as we went. Look at the color composition in this one. The contrast between the warm and cool tones is so strong, yet it's still harmonious. How does it do that? Because the artist mixed a little bit of the cool tones into the warm sections and a little warm into the cool sections. It creates an overall balance. Listening to her, I started to see the art in a new light. More than that, I noticed how her eyes lit up when she talked about something she loved. That genuine passion made her incredibly attractive. After the exhibit, we found a cafe. Thanks for the tour today. I learned a lot, I said. You're welcome. I'm just happy to have someone who will listen to me ramble about paintings. When did you start painting? When I was a kid. My mom said I was scribbling on everything when I was 2 or 3. Did your mom support you? Not at first. She thought there was no future in it. But when she saw how much I loved it, she let me be. I nodded. Having family support is so important. It is. Even though I'm not a professional artist now, painting brings me so much joy. Have you ever thought about doing it full-time? I've thought about it, but I'm not brave enough yet. I have to make a living, you know? But I am preparing for a solo exhibition. If it's successful, maybe I'll consider making a change. I'll definitely be there to support you. Really? Her eyes brightened. Of course. We talked for a while longer, the conversation flowing from art to life, from work to dreams. I found that Lily was a woman with a clear vision for her life and a positive outlook, always able to find beauty in the ordinary. Jack, can I ask you a question? She said suddenly. What is it? Leo told me you just got out of a relationship. Do you still think about your ex-girlfriend? I didn't expect her to be so direct. I paused for a second. I think about her sometimes, but there's no real feeling there anymore. That's good, she said, looking relieved. I was afraid I was just a rebound for you. I looked into her sincere eyes, and my heart warmed. Lily, you're not a replacement for anyone. You're just you. Thank you for saying that. I want to ask you a question, too. Go ahead. Why did you agree to meet me? Because Leo said you were a really good person. And from our conversations, I could tell you were genuine. That's it. And you actually listen when I talk. That makes me feel very comfortable. I thought of Victoria, who never really listened, her mind always somewhere else. Lily, thank you for being willing to be my friend. Just friends? She asked, looking at me with a hint of hope in her eyes. I reached across the table and took her hand. More than friends. She smiled a sweet, radiant smile. In that moment, I knew I could truly start over. Some people leave your life to make room for better people to come in. Some endings are just setting the stage for better beginnings. Victoria taught me what wasn't right for me, and Lily showed me what it felt like to be comfortable. Maybe this was just how fate worked. 3 months later, Lily and I were officially a couple. In that time, we slowly got to know each other, our feelings growing steadily. Being with Lily felt like I had finally found someone who truly understood me. She would bring me snacks when I worked late, sit with me and listen to music when I was feeling down, and respond thoughtfully even to my most random comments. Most importantly, she never once made me feel embarrassed or small in front of anyone. One time, she invited me to a party with her friends. I was a little nervous at first because my past experiences at gatherings with Victoria and her friends had always left me feeling like an outsider. But this was completely different. Lily actively introduced me to everyone, pulled me into their conversations, and gave me encouraging looks when I spoke. That feeling of being valued and respected moved me deeply. One night, we were at home watching a movie. Lily was leaning against my shoulder, watching the screen quietly. Jack, she said suddenly. Do you think we'll always be like this? What do you mean? Do you think our relationship will last? I looked at her and said seriously, Lily, I think the most important things for a lasting relationship are mutual respect and understanding. And you think we have that? Yes, I answered without hesitation. And I think this is the first time I've met someone who truly gets me. She smiled. Me too. Really. In my past relationships, it always felt like so much work. I was always carefully trying to guess what the other person was thinking, trying to be the person they wanted me to be. But with you, I can just be myself. Her words filled my heart with warmth. Lily, I want to tell you something. What is it? I love you. It was the first time I had said those 3 words to her. She froze for a second, then her eyes filled with tears. I love you too. We held each other, and in that moment, I felt a sense of security and happiness I had never known before. Later, I would occasionally think about Victoria. I heard from Leo that she ended up with some rich kid whose family was very wealthy. She was probably happy with that. I was happy for her because I knew that was the kind of life that was probably a better fit for her. And I had found the person who was the perfect fit for me. The end.